Now for a closer look at Kenya's 600 million syndicated loan agreement, and we're joined from Nairobi by Victor Williams, who's the Regional Director for Corporate Investment Banking at Standard Bank. Many thanks for joining us here. And Kenya, this $600 million deal is a big one. Just give us why this is significant.
I think it's good afternoon. I think the deal is significant because it marks Kenya's most recent entry into the international loan markets. It shows a lot of confidence in the Kenyan economy and the Kenyan government, and it helps provide the government with much needed funding to carry out a range of infrastructure projects as well as to finance the implementation of the new constitution.
The initial thinking within the Kenyan treasury scene was of a Eurobond, but those plans were shelved for this instead. Do you think that was well advised?
I think the Kenyan government looked at where the markets were at the time when they were looking for the money, and decided that given the state of the markets late last year when they were considering obtaining the funding, that it was probably not advantageous to Kenya to go to the Eurobond market at that time, and that a syndicated loan could be put together more quickly and achieve much the same goals in terms of providing funding to the Kenyan government.
Talk to us about the interest rate of 4.75%, because earlier there had been some concerns that the government was getting a raw deal, paying about 5.7 billion shillings in interest rates. Well,
the coupon rate on the, or the rate on the deal is LIBOR plus 4.75. From the Kenyan government's perspective, and I think from the perspective of the banks that are working on the transaction, it is a very good rate. It's very competitive compared to other financings that have been done for African countries. The syndicated loan market in Africa at the international level for sovereigns is relatively thin, so there are not a lot of good comparisons. But if you look at where some of the bonds that have been issued by African sovereigns are priced, it is well north of this rate which the Kenyan government has obtained. And so I think both the consortium as well as the government can be quite pleased with the pricing of the loan.
I'm still going to continue playing devil's advocate here. Is this cheaper than borrowing locally within Kenya?
Well, the Kenyan, as you're probably aware, rates in the Kenyan economy, in the Kenyan local financing markets have been quite high over the last several months. And treasuries have been in the, north of 15, 16, 17%. There is some tightening that we have seen recently, but this loan is still priced very favorably to the local markets.
What does Kenya's risk profile look like right now, Victor?
I think that, I think what this loan indicates is that the international financial community continues to be quite confident in the medium to long-term picture for Kenya. We see it as the hub of a growing East Africa community, a place where even though growth has slowed, the fundamentals are in place for solid performance in the medium to long term. And I think the fact that this is a 2-year facility indicates some confidence in Kenya's ability to continue to perform in the near term as well.
The syndicated loan is put together by yourselves at Standard Bank, but also Citibank and Standard Chartered. What is each of these partners bringing into the table?
Well, we came together as a consortium of banks that have all have significant current presence in Kenya, and that have all been supportive of the Kenyan economy to work together on this facility. And the banks have been working as a consortium from the beginning at the RFP stage, and have continued to work together in equivalent roles to arrange, manage, and underwrite the facility for the Kenyan government.
How will the shilling's volatility, if any, affect the syndicated loan?
Well, I think one of what we're seeing most recently is that the shilling has stabilized in terms of its level and has come down appreciably from where it had weakened to before. And I think that during the period where we're in the process of syndicating the loan and bringing it to the market, that certainly a stable shilling would be helpful to that process. And I think that based on the fact that this facility has now been signed, it should give some indication to the market that the Kenyan government will be able to draw on an international currency soon, and it should help to stabilize the shilling.
Any other planned investments around infrastructure and energy?
Well, there's a lot going on in Kenya, and in a number of areas. In the energy sector, there is a significant amount of investment going on to increase the capacity of the Kenyan economy to generate the electricity that's needed for industrial and agricultural production in the areas of hydropower, wind, geothermal, and then, as you're probably aware, there's a significant amount of infrastructure going on in the country, in the roads, with roads and ports and the airports. And I think that certainly this facility will go a long way towards helping the government to fund all of that work. And I think that certainly we at Standard Bank continue to be supportive of the government and the private sector in Kenya in pursuing projects that will bring a positive impact to economic growth.